Okay, guys, let's talk about riding. Talk about some things that you're going to need when you're riding. Obviously, you want to have your bike serviced. You want to make sure your tires, brakes, and engine oils, clutch fluids, and everything is meeting proper specs. And you want to make sure you have the right gear on. I ride a couple of different style bikes. Depending on what ride I'm going to be doing, will determine whether I'm riding this Fat Bob or whether I'm riding this Limited or the Street Glide. There's some things I keep on these, especially here in East Tennessee, but one of the things I try to do is, let me go over and get my pile here. Depending on the weather and the bike I'm riding will determine if I'm wearing these gloves that are perforated and breathe or leather gloves. Chances are, if it's cooler weather, I'm not going to be on this. I'm going to be on this because it's got a lot of protection from the wind. Also, you have heated grips and lower leg fairings on it as well. Summertime in East Tennessee, if you can stand the heat of long sleeves, these moisture wicking shirts are amazing. But with that being said, I do keep, no matter what I'm riding, I keep a hoodie. I keep a Harley Davidson hoodie in my tour pack or in my pillion bag for them cool nights that you get out. And then I have a little heavier jacket. I got a bunch of jackets, but a little heavier jacket for when the weather starts to get a little cooler, and this also has a zip-in liner. Depending on the amount of time I'm going to be out, I could be wearing some Harley rain gear at some time. Heat resistant, so it doesn't melt when it touches your pipe, and it's not like the cheaper stuff that you see out. So let me go over here and dug all this out before I got started. I keep this in my bikes. You never know when you're going to need this, and a toolkit. I didn't pull the toolkits out. And the glasses I usually wear, photochromatic lenses, so they will change in the sunlight to give you a tinted glass, and then they will get clear at nighttime, so you can remain eye protection and you have good visibility. Very rarely will you see me riding anything other than a pair of boots. And I try to wear a pair of gloves all the time too. I know I'm telling you some things that I don't do that I should do, but these are things you should really consider. So let's go to the helmets and talk about the helmets that I use. So I have a few helmets. This one is one of my favorites, because I don't have as much protection from the wind and debris and things like that. When I ride the Softail, I almost always have a full face helmet on. My helmet of choice, of course, is a Harley Davidson helmet. This is the Outrush. And if you notice, because I don't have stereo on this bike, this is a Bluetooth helmet, so I can still keep the capability of listening to music or even take a call if my mother tries to call and wants to check on me, as she does quite often. So that comes in really handy. It's vented to keep air circulating through the helmet. And I know this is gonna raise some. I can't believe you do that. But when I'm riding a touring bike and it's not cold weather, I go with my Harley Davidson half helmet. This particular half helmet is powered by Cena. Has Bluetooth speakers up in the top of it and a microphone in the front. This will allow me to take those important calls when they come in without interrupting the music that I have playing. I do love my music, so I keep that on point. I'll go ahead and show you some other things I keep with me all the time. always keep an extra shirt. I keep a battery box. Keep a microfiber rag. An extra pair of glasses. And guys, I can't really do this without saying this. I keep these with me. I'm a type 1 diabetic, and my pod that I am currently wearing could run out of insulin. And the last thing I want to do is get out there on a bike and have blood sugar issues. So I keep this and some insulin with me whenever I go. Keep one, there's 5 in this pack. But I keep one with me all the time, so in case I do need to change it while I'm out riding, I can pull over, take a couple of minutes, and keep my blood sugars in a safe range. The other thing I try to keep with me is I'll try to keep some kind of drink, Gatorade, zero sugar Gatorade, water, something to keep me hydrated while I'm out there riding. You know, a lot of people that really put the miles in, they don't stop and eat. I mean, I'm a fat guy. I usually am not putting more than 500 miles on it in a day, so I will stop and I'll have a good meal. It also helps me to maintain good blood sugar levels by having the right nutrition as well. So again, I make sure the bike's ready. I have the luxury, I guess, or the privilege of having a service department on part of my team at the dealership, and our service guys take good care of my bikes for me. We have a deal. I don't try to put nothing on, and they don't charge me extra. They do maintain my bikes for me though, and you know, it's one of the things that I'll say when they tell me a bike needs something. I take heed to it, because I really believe that my brothers at the dealership are looking out for me, especially when it seems like it could be something that the normal person could think is trivial. And having been around this business for a little while, the most trivial of things can turn into the most major of malfunctions on a bike. So you want to make sure that's up to speed, 100% up to speed. Tires, service, brakes, fluids, everything. Now then, do I wear this half helmet on this bike? Very, very, very rarely will you see me wear a half helmet on a Softail, because I don't have this protecting my face. You know, this is my man Just GQ. Excuse me, let me show you something here. I would hope this never happens to anybody, but he made a good point. If you're driving down the road, and he makes a good argument for always wearing a full face helmet. If you're driving down the road and you get behind a truck that has a deep tread, and they'd picked up a rock and they sling this off, can you imagine if that's coming at your face? That could end your life. That could really mess your day up bad. So, you know, am I always going to have a full face helmet on? No, but I will have eye protection on. I will have a helmet on. And if I'm riding this bike, I have pretty good coverage from gravels and debris coming up from the road. But on this bike, nah, there ain't anything there. So, dress for your ride. Dress for your ride, the ride. Dress for the ride, the bike. And dress to where you're not going to be bound up, uncomfortable, and you can't move freely. You want to be able to be free to make any maneuvers you need to do on your bike. You want to make sure that your jacket's not too tight so you can get your arms out. You want to make sure your boots are tied, because your boots not being tied can end up pretty bad too. You want to make sure that you have proper fitting jeans to where they're not hanging off of you, because that could bind you up also when you're riding. Gosh, I know there's a lot more. Oh, in my bikes, I have a piece of paper that has emergency phone numbers on it. So if I ever have an instance with my blood sugar as a type 1 diabetic, or if I have an accident and my phone doesn't work, they will look in your tour pack or in your pack and try to find any information to try to help or notify someone that something's going on. Always good to have your emergency contacts written down, have them somewhere on your bike where people can find them. All right, so now I'll do it. What's in the pillion here? Well, today I have a hat in there, but I'm not going out on the road right now. I might later, but not right now. So just dress for the ride. You know, you hear people say dress for the slide, not for the ride. You know, a lot of times if you dress for your ride, you can prevent the slide. Because if you're wearing the clothes that don't fit properly and clothes that don't allow you to move freely, it could cause you to end up in a slide. And I would not want that for any of you. Guys, I really appreciate you tuning in to the video. Please like the video for me, and if you feel inspired to, share it, comment, tell me what I left out. And you can always stop by Bootlegger Harley Davidson, sit down in the office with me and talk about the ride. Come by and tell me about your greatest rides. Take care of yourself, and remember, enjoy the ride. It's not how fast you get there, it's the journey from the start to the finish. So have a good day, guys, and thanks again.